so many birds. It's so cool.
Just half an hour away from Brisbane, you can find birds you almost never see in the city. Today I'm going to show you where. Come with me on my birding adventures as I visit some popular spots.
Good morning. I'm finally going birding again. I'm so excited. It's been a while. Excited and sleepy. I think I'm going to head to Lake Samsonvale this morning. I haven't been there before, so we'll be discovering it together. Let's go. I've just arrived. While I put my shoes on, let me tell you what we're doing today. So there's a couple of spots, according to eBird, at Lake Samsonvale. I'm currently at Gold Scrub Lane. It looks like, and according to eBird as well, there are quite a few areas that are restricted access. So I'll just see what areas I can get into. We'll see what we can find. Then we might move to another spot. I can already hear eastern whipbirds, and I've seen about 4 brush turkeys since I arrived. Today I would love to see a Pacific baaser, because I think that's what people call my nemesis bird. It's fairly common. I see people post on Reddit all the time who've seen it without even looking for it, and I've never been able to find it. Unfortunately, as I arrived here today, I saw a bird fly away that looked a lot like a Pacific baaser. So we'll see if we can find it. That would be awesome. Let's see.
This pair of helmeted guinea fowl were hanging out around the cemetery. They're native to Africa and have been imported to lots of different countries, including Australia. You don't see them very much around Brisbane. I've only seen them a handful of times in random places. Here, Maleny Botanic Gardens, and at a random house near Gympie. This is a Lewin's honeyeater. That's its signature machine gun call, which I heard a lot of today on this bird walk.
It's really lovely here. I should say as well, the reason I'm looking for Pacific baaser here is that one was spotted not that long ago. I'm at the cemetery. It's about 6 a.m. I left home at about 5:30, so it took me about half an hour to get here. But it was early, so it was an easy drive. Once again, really thought I was hearing a kingfisher just then. Not a kingfisher. Spangled drongo. Again.
Here is the offender. I'm actually not sure which bird it's mimicking here. It sounds a bit like a sacred kingfisher, but not exactly. Is it a different bird call, or is that just part of the drongo's con? If you know, let me know in the comments.
I'm just walking around in the area near the cemetery, and then I think I'll walk back down the road a little bit.
These bar-shouldered doves were hanging out with me on this road, but then I must have gotten a bit too close because all of a sudden they just stood completely still like this for ages. Here's a pied butcherbird. I love how they use their whole bodies when they call. These are striped honeyeaters. I don't see these very often, so I wasn't even sure what I was looking at when I saw them. I identified them using my photos when I got home. This is a yellow-faced honeyeater. It looks a lot like a Lewin's honeyeater, but the face markings are slightly different.
Can you hear that? Do you know what that is? Striated pardalo. Let's see if we can find it. I couldn't find the striated pardalote. I think that was a fluke that I found in my last video. If you want to see one, check out my last video.
Or you can just wait a few minutes. This little bird is a tawny grassbird. This is a varied satella. It's another species I don't see in Brisbane very often. There was a flock of them that were going nuts and flying all over the place, over the road, quite a few times.
I cannot believe what I just saw. I think it was a deer. That's a new one.
This red-backed fairy wren was having a brekkie of what looks like a caterpillar. Another red-backed fairy wren and a silver eye joining the party.
Once again, I probably spent a little bit too long in my first spot. Just enjoying it so much. So I'm going to head off now and find the next spot. Okay, I got distracted my way back. Merlin says that there's scarlet honeyeaters around.
I didn't see a scarlet honeyeater in this spot, but I did finally find the striated pardalote.
I've just found a spot behind the cemetery where it looks like you can go kind of down to Lake Samsonvale. I'm not sure if it's meant to be restricted access, so I'm just going to have a look and see what the go is and if we can find any birds down here.
On the left, and making a lot of noise, is a brown honeyeater. I also spotted this black-shouldered kite. It was really far away. That's what I like about my Nikon P950 camera. It has a great zoom. It was sitting here for ages, which gave me a chance to test out my brand new tripod. That's why this footage looks so stable.
I went down a little way, but there's lots of long grass. So I'm going to turn back and actually move on to my next spot now. I've just driven to Dales Road at Cobble Creek and I've just seen a huge flock of tiny birds pass by. I'm gonna see if I can figure out what they are.
It looks like they were chestnut-breasted manakins. It was a large flock with lots of juveniles. You can tell they're juveniles because they're a bit paler in colouring and they don't have all of the same markings yet. They're flying all over the place, and for a while they were sitting on this tree.
You have to be a little bit careful in places like this when you're birding because it is just a road, so there are quite often cars that drive around here and also pretty quickly. So make sure to be safe and keep an eye out and an ear out for cars on the road.
This kookaburra was hanging out here for ages.
For a random road in the middle of nowhere, it has so many birds. It's so cool.
This is an Australian spectacled monarch. You don't see these in Brisbane very often either. Its bright orange is so pretty.
They're going nuts. There's so many birds I don't know where to look. I think I've just seen some grey-crowned babblers.
This is another bird that you don't see very often in Brisbane. You see these noisy birds more often outside the city. There's a pair of grey-crowned babblers on the right, and then you can see the woolly wagtail on the left. I don't know what was going on here. They seemed like they were upset about something, but I couldn't figure out what it was.
I'm so stoked. I'm looking at a pair of trillers right now, and I've just captured one of the parents feeding its young, which is so cool.
This would be the mother because the males are dark grey.
Well, I only walked about 50 metres from where I parked my car, and I saw so many birds. So I'm just going to continue down the road a little bit and see what else there is. Heading back to my car now. See if we can see anything on the way back. No Pacific Basa yet. Maybe another day. To get home I have to drive through Samford, so I'm just going to pop in and see what I can find at Samford Eco Corridor. We are at Samford Eco Corridor now. It's almost 9 a.m, so there may not be as many birds, but let's see what we can find. Samford Eco Corridor is in the same area as the bowls club and the tennis courts.
Walk up the hill next to the bowls club and you'll find this path. There were more chestnut-breasted manakins here as well. And some double-barred finches.
This looks quite interesting, doesn't it?
Cormorants sit like this because their feathers aren't very waterproof, so to fly, they need to dry their feathers out first. And off it goes. Now it's going to get them all wet again.
I found some scarlet honeyeaters. Yay!
The male scarlet honeyeater is red and the female is brown. This one might be a young male.
I've just finished walking through the middle of the Eco Corridor, so now I'm going to go and see if I can find anything around the outside, kind of closer to the tennis courts.
Near the tennis courts, I found the superb fairy wrens who are absolutely obsessed with the fence around the tennis court. That cannot be comfortable. And another spangled drongo. No Pacific Baza today. Maybe next time. On my way out, I found this little shrike thrush. Well, what a wonderful morning of birding. Some new spots, an old favourite spot, and some brilliant birds. I had a great time. I hope you did too. See you next time. While you're out here anyway, I'd highly recommend to stop in at Kenilworth Bakery for some coffee and donuts.